I love maps, and video games have plenty of them. In this series, we will analyze and review maps from different strategy games and have some fun. That being said, welcome to Map Review. Hello, it's the President and welcome to Map Review. In today's episode, we'll take a closer look at, again, Rome Total War, but this time the two DLC campaigns for this game. There have been two of them. There was a Barbarian Invasion and Alexander the Great campaign, and both of them will be reviewed by me today. Okay, so let's start. First, Italy. And overall. First, this campaign map for Barbarian Invasion has, I think, there's less provinces than in the original game. They're peppered, more loosely in many places, especially here in Italy. And I think it's because the way the game plays kind of shifted. There are more provinces here in the north, but less provinces in places like Africa or, Spain. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, especially if it serves a gaming purpose, right? Okay, let's actually start with Britain. It looks much better than the original one. They actually have one settlement in Scotland, so this is all I ever wanted. I like that, it's pretty cool. The Gaul has even less settlements, but right now there's one centralized settlement, which I truly appreciate. Also, although it looks kind of weird how these here provinces look like layers of each other. I don't know if you get the same feel about them, but I think they make for great shapes of empires. Personally, although they're kind of straight lines, I think they're great for building the shape of France or, the Empire of Charlemagne the Great. It looks kind of fine. For the Spain, what I can say is no centralized province, a huge minus, and also weird province at the top. If you conquer Tarraco, you automatically control this entire coast right here. I don't like when one province can control two coasts. It's not really something I like personally. In Africa we have less settlements, probably because they didn't need that many. Although I think since the Vandals are in the game, it would be nice for them to add some provinces here, because the Vandals established here themselves in the, real life. Dimity is still here, but there's no, Saharan settlement. The map looks nice, but then again, still, this is just one province. But I'll forgive it because there's less provinces overall, so it'll be kind of weird if they just added one here randomly. And there's no province in here on these islands. There used to be a province of Palma in the original Rome, and I think I preferred that. Greece doesn't look so good. I like how in the previously Greece had many settlements, but I think for what it is, they aren't placed in bad places. Thessalonica and Athens were definitely great choices. Also, the shapes are really good. And it's also important to remember that they really needed to decrease the number of settlements both Roman empires had, considering the fact that if you start with a huge empire that has so many settlements, it's gonna be so hard to manage it, and plus it's going to make the game less dynamic. You actually want to see these empires falling and recreating themselves. I think this is kind of better. Anatolia looks fine. Nothing more to say. It has enough of everything. I kind of like it. The Middle East still looks pretty good. I don't think it was really changed that much. I pretty much like it. And the addition of the Sassanids in the game, they don't really actually create more provinces here. I think they're pretty much the same as in the first Rome, and there's still a weird line of settlements here. I can't really say a lot about it. It's just meh. It sucks that Egypt is just one province, I personally hate that. But hey, Jerusalem has controls like whole Israel, which is okay, and Petra finally controls all this coast right here. That's a plus. And Libya, as always, is a huge awkward province, as in most Total War games. For the Germania, I really like how they made it. There are many camps, they're kind of loose in some places are more dense. It looks fine, the shapes are pretty much okay. You know, you can recreate kind of the shape of Germany, and you can kind of recreate the shapes of Poland or Czechoslovakia if you're looking for it using these provinces. Nothing special. Maybe I would really appreciate if Vicus Saxonis could be changed from being, you know, whole Scandinavia and just have just Denmark. You know, I still hate this province, just like in the previous simple Rome Total War. Province right here for the Sarmatians, their capital. It has a really weird shape, but I mean, it's supposed to symbolize a huge step. You know, the provinces here are kind of weird, they don't really look good. But what could they do really? The most of the gameplay happens kind of here, so this is basically when you start, but that's not necessarily when you end, so usually this doesn't include, you know, it's not counted in your final empire shape, I think. So it's not such a big deal. Maybe if Crimea could be a different province than Campus Roxolania, I would appreciate that. But again, that's it. You know, the Balkans look okay. The game changed a lot from, you know, the previous Imperial campaign. There are some minuses, because yeah, sure, there's less provinces in some places, which doesn't look too good. But on the other hand, although nothing was improved from, you know, my pet peeves before that much, there had been many great additions. Like, actually, Scotland finally has a settlement, so that's a plus. There's a centralized settlement in France, and also Anatolia doesn't really have a huge patch of land with no settlements according to, you know, the density of them they had before. I think the game actually improved from the previous map, and I will give it 7 out of 10. And that's my final verdict. Okay, now let's move into the second game. Okay, so we are back in Rome Total War. This time it's Alexander's campaign. And what I'm gonna say is that this map is absolutely hideous. Although the layout, like, some provinces look fine, their shapes here, you know, they're just dense everywhere. There was so much laziness that went into this map. It looks like 3-year-old's project. Look at Cyprus. They didn't try. Look at this Crimea. It's not even shaped like Crimea. I know it probably shouldn't be the point of this game, you know, but as someone who really likes maps, someone who really likes province layouts, and likes their empire to actually look fantastic, right? This is just bad. And even like you control Petra, it controls entirely of Saudi Arabia. It's just so weird. Can't really say anything good. The Greece looks terrible. It's a square for, you know, that peninsula. Right here, this is for some reason rounded. India is one province, like this side. Maybe it's not that terrible because for the most part, like the central Anatolia, like the Anatolian layout of provinces, and I mean Persia looks fine, so I guess it's not a 1, but it's nothing more than 3 out of 10, and that's my final verdict. Okay, leave me your opinion about these maps in the comments. Maybe I'm completely wrong according to you, or maybe you actually agree with me. And see you guys next episode of Map Review.